Greetings. I am Michael Kahn, author, activist, revolutionary, presidential candidate, and deliverer. Just want to tell you a little bit about myself so you know more about me. I was born in Brooklyn. My family moved to New Jersey when I was 6 months old, and I lived in Bergen County since that time. I have my mom taught in Patterson, an urban city in a ghetto, in a high school in Kennedy High School. My dad taught in the Bronx, New York City. He had worked with the Black Panthers. He handed out free school lunches to the kids in the ghetto. My mom had revolutionaries and all kinds of movers and shakers come to our house all throughout my youth. Africans, Indians, all kinds of people from poor nations, people going to college here in America to learn to bring the information over to their homelands. And we basically been involved in helping the people for all my life. I started volunteering in 1986 because I've been helping homeless people, mentally ill people, and elderly. Why? Because in 1982 I'd been homeless myself, as well as having been diagnosed with mental illness. So I started volunteering. I volunteered a total of 45,000 hours unpaid. I've done work for the poor population, for the homeless, mentally ill, and elderly populations for pay as well. The most I ever earned in any job was $28,000 a year. That was for the 3 years as a case manager. Never in any other time in my life have I made more than $19,000 a year. Now, I am for the people, all the way. I live in poverty, not poor. I'm not dirt poor. I have all I need. I have an old 1998 car. I have a nice place to live, a nice 12 by 15 room to live in. It also has a toaster oven, a hot plate, a sink, a shower stall, a refrigerator. It ain't bad. It's nice and clean and dry and has everything I need. I don't need much. I live a simple life. Not that I'm stupid. I do a lot of research. I've written books that are changing humanity. And I've seen the results of riches. And that's why when I went to prison and lived with blacks for the first time, I was in prison as a result of writing my first book, major book, Exposing the Money Machine, which 2 months after publishing it and went online, an intelligence agent came to my place, looked through my computers, went through my files, and after 2 or 3 days, left. And then 2 months later, I was put in prison with lies. And they told me clearly, they showed me, they were looking up, researching everything about my life when I was like 10 years old. They told me what I did when I was like 15 years old. And not only that, they told me they were looking to see how my book was selling. They were researching and looking at investigating every one of my affiliations. So I was, they had me under the lone wolf provision of the Patriot Act. Then basically saw they recognized I was clean and had solutions. They let me go early. But in prison, no. Every day stood up to the guards, to the COs. Every day I told them what I knew about the injustice system. Because I've done my research. I know a little bit. And I told them how I felt about it, what they were doing really, and what the whole system was doing to people. And they don't like that much. I got some time in solitary confinement for doing that. Almost came close to being beat up by the cops. But the good part is, not so good. When I was there with the blacks, and that was the first time I lived with blacks, I had preached to them, I had helped them, but there, in prison, I lived with them. And I became a black man. I didn't paint my skin black, but I saw their nature, their culture. I love those black people. I love those inmates. And they loved me too. So basically, I asked to be released to a shelter in Newark, an urban city, in a neighborhood I'd been in. And they told me about, when I was in prison, they said, go to this shelter, it's the best one. So I asked to be released to the shelter. No, I stripped the cops. I insulted cops. They released me to the streets. And in prison, by the way, they give me medicines, forced them on me. They caused me to lose my appetite and my will to exercise. And when I got out, I was in there. I lost like 30 pounds. When I was released from the shelter, my income had been cut off. I lost all my property. I was released to the streets of a shelter with nothing. I lost 15 more pounds. Not because I couldn't eat, and having no actually didn't release to the streets, so I had nothing to eat. So being without a home, without an address, is a parole violation. I was incarcerated again shortly later, within a month. There, I wrote my final 2 books, The Untold Nature of Christianity and Angry, Loud, and Clear Truth, in the next incarceration. Came out, typed them up. And when I was incarcerated, I was assaulted 30 times. Every time by a bigger, badder, stronger, and younger man or 2. Learn to defend myself, and I learned courage. I ain't afraid of prison or being beat up. Happened so many times. Well, I know what happens. You fall down, you get up, and you defend yourself, and then the bully backs off. Yeah, I've had fractured arm, fractured ribs, fractured jaw, contusion nose. I can deal with a little pain. It's much worse pain than humiliation of being beat up and cowering. Much more painful than standing up fighting and having your self-respect. It don't hurt. And ask anybody who's been in a fight. It don't hurt that much. I have the courage. I don't mind going to jail. I don't want to. But I ain't gonna let it scare me. And I've been threatened with it. And I've been threatened with guns too. I've been threatened by parole, threatened with decades in prison. They say I had to use a pencil instead of a computer. Or I'd have decades in prison. Yeah, you try it. Anyway, I am for the people. I consider myself a black man. When I was in, like I said, I had to be released to Newark, urban, poor neighborhoods in Newark. I was living in a nice apartment in Newark with rent subsidy when released to the last incarceration. Then I was put in jail again. Yes, this time I actually did a crime. I had a reckless terroristic threat. I threatened certain people, which I never meant to carry through, but I was irate. I was annoyed at what they did, and I threatened them. I did not mean I was going to do it, but I did, and that got me 6 months in solitary confinement. Got out, I lost a rent subsidy. I had to downsize. So I moved out of Newark to a neighboring town, and I found a room to live in, and I'm happy here. Now listen, I care for the people. I've been volunteering for 30 plus years, helping the homeless and the elderly. I'm giving of everything I have. I started organizations, Alliance Against Homelessness in Bergen County, where I housed homeless mentally ill people. Time to Care Ministries, taught Bible, mentored mentally ill adults, and found jobs in housing for people. So understand, I've been helping people all my life. I see what riches have done to people. They make them greedy and selfish, unconcerned for others, hateful, hating themselves, hating people, wanting more money and power, always trying to impress people, putting on a phony appearance, wanting to be affirmed, wanting fame and prestige. This is not right. And let the poor people suffer. They pay people to do evil for them. That's basically the pharmaceuticals pay the scientists to create medicines that addict and destroy rather than heal. They manage illnesses, they don't heal them. Anything to addict people, make them dependent on the pharmaceuticals to destroy lives. The media are paid to bring in wrong values, wrong mindsets, wrong worldviews, lie to us through the CIA. People do evil for their paychecks. And I see that the evil people, rich people, manipulate the world this way. It's a rich man's trick. It is no shame to be poor. I wear my poverty and my jailings like a badge of honor. I have not been bought. I cannot be bought. I cannot be put in fear. And I will fight for the people. Elect me as president. I have a lot of good ideas. Here are some of them. The year of Jubilee. Basically, in the Old Testament, it's about once every 50 years, debts are canceled. And this is my plan. I see people in poverty, homeless, and the like, especially with after this COVID shutdown. What do we do? We'll cancel all debts, mortgages, car loans. You own a house or paying off a mortgage, stay there. All you pay is taxes and utilities. The banks have screwed the people for centuries, stolen us, manipulated us, exploited us, robbed us, taking back everything they can, their greedy, stingy fingers to destroy us. I'll make laws confiscating the rich man's money, everything over $2 million. And you do anything to the United States, you have over $2 million in any bank anywhere in the world, we will confiscate it, motherfuckers. And the banks can pay for they have taken our monies. We'll take it right back. They'll go to the government to pay off debts and be redistributed to the people. You may live in your house, or you would basically what you have bought and paid a mortgage for, or part of a mortgage for. And for those landlords who are rent out rooms, rent out apartments, you rent since your mortgages are paid off. Basically there'll be leases from now on. You will lease those apartments for basically for $100 a room, plus taxes and utilities. So people with a 2-bedroom apartment will be able to keep it for about $600 a month. They'll be able to rent a 2-bedroom apartment for $600 a month. This is reasonable. It's affordable. And you can make a small property owner, 2-family house or an apartment building. You can make a moderate income out of it, a sufficient income out of renting it, or leasing it, as I should say. I have other ideas. For the prison system, get civilian public oversight of the police. If any policeman kills anybody unjustly, prosecute him, and not only fire, but prosecute him and put him in jail. Bring back the guardian angels from the 1970s, 1980s. People police their own neighborhoods. They knew the people that wasn't going on, and they basically made sure people were in line. They saw what was going on. They're more savvy. They're around more often. They kept their eyes and ears open, and they protected the people. They worked better than the cops. Fines for drug use. Fine them, don't give them a criminal record where they'll never get a job and keep them away from their families that they're supporting. No, just basically give them a fine instead. And matters of incarceration, matters of robbery or assault or the like, or theft, restitution. If you robbed somebody, give back 5-fold. Or work for them, give them your effort. Do something to restore what you took from them or did to them or harmed them with. And it'll feel good helping somebody rather than harming somebody. Teach you a lesson on proper behavior and make you have a right attitude in helping people. Yes, rapists, pedophiles, murderers, they need to be separated from society. They need to be put in prison. Now, I have many more ideas. Many more on how to take care of this. How to get rid of the pharmaceutical problem. How to get the food problem itself. Now, there's been a lot of people lost their income and their jobs due to the shutdown. So what do? We basically hire them to plant fruit trees all over the world and in America mostly. Also build buildings for self-sustaining agricultural communities. My solution to all world problems. Now, as you all should know, the animals breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon monoxide. Plants breathe in carbon monoxide and breathe out oxygen. So what do we do? But there's an oxygen imbalance in the atmosphere due to global warming, as they call it. And so basically planting a lot of fruit trees will not only restore the oxygen level, if we plant enough of them, they'll also provide food for the planet. Also vegetables everywhere also. How is global warming started? As I explained in Exposing the Money Machine. It was developed by putting chemtrails, planes with no passengers, only pilots, and big tanks of aluminum oxide and magnesium dioxide. Little tiny medical particles they put all over the skies for 15 years. Chemtrails, what you'll see at the planes. And that was done intentionally, deliberately to cause climate change. It has been done deliberately. And then our soldiers off in the Middle East had what they called these burn pits. And they basically put all these chemicals and waste, everything. And they put them in pits, they burn them, it caused terrible pollution. Veterans are coming back and they're dying off because of that and because of depleted uranium. And they had and think about the Arab countries, the people where they did this to, they stayed a couple of years, they got these terrible diseases. What about those Arab countries where people lived or used to live? Yeah, they lived, not anymore. They're dead now. In the graveyards, they go, why? Because soldiers do as told to. They obey authority. They're told to kill, they kill. They're told to destroy the atmosphere, they destroy the atmosphere. Because they're so brave and so courageous, so wonderful. They're heroes, right? BS. People, learn to think for yourselves and be men. Men of courage and independence. Not being told what to do, especially when it's being told to harm people. Before you go off to be a so-called hero, research and investigate who you're killing and why and who for. Those lying, criminal-minded politicians, you believe their words? You see what they do. They don't help nobody but the rich. Now, let's go. I understand. Here it is. The time has come for us to take a stand. For the people, I care. And I want to change humanity for the better. I'm not out there being president for my prestige or position or for money or for fame. Those don't mean anything to me. For the past 30 years, I've been out trying to make humanity's life a little bit better, making this world better than when I came in. Well, I have ideas, and I'm not being president because it's a good thing to do. I always dream of being president, or I want to make it a step up higher. I'm doing because I have I know a lot about how the harm's going on, and I basically also have valid ideas on how to make an ideal civilization. Out of the box thinking I'm able to do. And I have courage, and I have nuts, and I know how to do these things. I know how to exercise and to facilitate a new world order, not the order they have planned, a new age, a new civilization, not the one that powers and masters have planned. Authorities have planned. The rich, evil, greedy, selfish, Satan-worshipping, evil rulers have planned a new world order. I have a new civilization, a new beginning, a new era to bring that good life and goodness like we had before there were kings and governors and rulers and gods. A new way of life for all future generations. And it isn't going to be entertaining or comfort. It's going to be good, hard, healthy work, not slave labor. Good, healthy, positive work and community. Forever. Instead of the hell we're in and how they have planned for us. Yeah, we have entertainment and comfort. We also have bad values, addictions, pain, selfishness, greed, drugs, crime, hatred, war. That doesn't have to be. I have a vision for a much better society. Those Satan worship, Lucifer worship, Freemasons, and Illuminati, the globalists, and the Vatican have a whole different plan for us. It ain't good. My book, Angry, Loud, and Clear Truth, explains it very clearly. America has never been great, has been oppressive, has been imperialistic and a militaristic bully. Our soldiers are not sent to the Middle East and Africa and South America and other places to save lives or to improve another nation. They're there for the self-interest of the very rich, to kill and destroy other peoples so they can get richer, more powerful. Not the peoples, but the rich people. The International Monetary Fund and the World Bank were set up to rob the people, deplete them of their monies, and bring more money and power to the rich. They ain't out to help people. Look up John Perkins. He was an economic hitman. He brought whole nations of poverty for the politicians and corporate interests. You people need to think before you do things for other people, before you follow orders, before you enlist in the army, or become a policeman, or work for the pharmaceutical. You have to think about who these people are and what they've done for humanity, or I should say, to humanity. because our people that are in power are not the saints or the rich benefactors that they say they are. They're not employers. They're slave masters. Wake up! People have been working for their nice big houses, new cars, fancy jewelry, television in every room, opiates, alcohol. People with their phones are affirming and everybody's affirming and validating one another. Oh, that's wonderful. Praise Jesus. That's good. When it's all superficial nonsense. I say it like it is, and yes, it is mean sometimes, or at least it feels mean to you guys. But I'm speaking the truth. And it only hurts if the aim is correct, if the aim is good. My aim is pretty damn good. People, we need to stop loving evil and patting each other on the back, and we need to start encouraging one another to correct the situation and do sacrificial work to save all of humanity, or else a few of us will be left alive as slaves of world fascist police state, and the rest of us will be dead. Because that's a plan. 500 million survivors in a world fascist, totalitarian police state is their goal. And that's why we had 9/11 a demolition job. So we could commit genocide of Arab peoples and employ and build Homeland Security and the Patriot Act. Read my book, Angry, Loud, and Clear Truth, which proves all this with sources. So people, get with it. Work with me as I work to save humanity. I am God's deliverer. I work for the people, and I'm with God in bringing back society how it should be. I'm not with the Satan God. I'm with the cosmic consciousness of Christians and Muslims and all that, and Jews and everybody else. I am not in that cosmic consciousness. I am a human being who is basically still in the reality realm. I'm 62 years old and damn good and smart. That's why. Also because I've been kept alive with great sacrifice for many people, because I can change humanity, and they know it, and they've enabled me. I've had a lot of training, not the usual establishment way, not the best schools, and and the greatest gyms, all that. No, in prisons, in institutions, on the streets, in the church, the hard way, like in the military, boot camp. Yeah, for years of boot camp in a way. I'm a tough character with a sharp mind. I'm not the sharpest. I'll figure out the truth after I investigate. Eventually, I'll get to the truth. I can learn. After a while, I learn when I've been lied to. I learn, and I get out of that. And that's why I'm not in the church. Okay. This is Michael Kahn, once again, author, activist, revolutionary, presidential candidate, and deliverer. Have a great day. Signing out, and vote for me. Be well.